welcome to the Vault Report, George Washington edition. I'm here with last year's A10 scoring leader, James Bishop the fourth. I appreciate you coming on. How you doing? How you feeling entering your fourth year at GW?
Thank you for having me on, and I feel good. Uh, really glad to be back. Glad to be with the staff. Glad to be back with the returning guys and the new guys that we got here. So everything's been going really good.
Awesome. And you talk about kind of returning. You talk about the staff. Your time at GW, you went through that coaching change. Caputo comes in. And then you have options obviously at the end of last year after one of the best single, I would say, individual seasons by a player in GW in a long time. Just talk through with me kind of your decision to come back and kind of the trust that you have in Caputo, a guy again who was not there when you first arrived at GW.
Since he first arrived at GW, he's just been like really upfront, really honest, really open. We have a really good dialogue and relationship. So, after last year, we sat down and we talked, and he gave me a plan and you know, thought on what he thought. Let me say that again. So basically, he gave me a plan and he gave me a look into where he thought we could be next year with me returning, with Max returning, and I believed in his plan. I believed in his development plan for me too. The things he was work that we won't be able to work on, and things we're gonna be able to do to help me grow for next year. Things like the weight room and eating better and different things like that. He's been able to really implement, and it was kind of a no brainer once he put that plan in front of me, and seeing the guys that he brought in and all the recruits, it made me a lot more comfortable. Knowing that we're gonna have a good team to put out there.
Definitely. And how much does you look at kind of his track record, as an assistant, specifically at Miami, the guys that he's worked with, the guys that made it to the league that are playing professionally in Europe, how much does that play a role in regards to kind of what you just were talking about in terms of you taking that next step? And then what for you from a basketball standpoint have you been focusing on? I mean, again, you led the league in scoring. Since your time at GW, you've been averaging 19 over 3 seasons. But what is that next step for you, in your specific basketball development?
So, which like you said, Caputo's been at Miami and seen a lot of different guys playing pro, playing in the NBA. So he's seen it. He knows what it takes. He knows what it looks like, and he knows how to develop those guys. He knows what things to do and how to get those guys to that next level. So, it definitely made me a lot more comfortable seeing that's one of my goals. And what was your other question?
Just for you specifically, as part of that, the plan for you basketball wise, what has been your kind of focus of the offseason?
So just first getting in great shape, trying to be in the best shape of my life coming into this year, and then next year just sharpening up everything that I did last year. So just decision making, pick and roll reads. I did a lot of work on my shot this summer, just being more efficient, and also just shot decisions in general. Uh, Trying to take better shots, so that'll also help percentages and efficiency. So, just being an overall smarter player and, being in the best shape of your life. That's really what I've been working on.
Absolutely. And you mentioned Edwards, obviously coming back. I would say you guys are, one of the best duos going into this year. Talk about, what he was able to bring, as such a young guy coming in last year and the next step that, maybe you see him taking and just being able to play with a guy like that.
I mean, he just brings so much versatility to the floor. He's a guy that can play on the perimeter, play in the post. He's also a guy that is really good at offensive and defensive rebounding. He could guard multiple positions. So, this just brings a lot of versatility to our team. He's a great guy to play with. He can play on and off the ball. So, he can make decisions. And he can also find open spots for himself with cutting and different things like that. And I just seen him take a step just in his leadership. He's also somebody that's really been working really hard on his body this summer. And just his overall game, he's a lot sharper right now than he was last year. He's a young guy, but he's really sharpened up this summer. So, I've seen him take a really big leap.
Yeah. And you mentioned there is a lot of new guys coming in. Obviously, you lost some key guys, some of your running mates. But you look at some of the new guys coming in. I had the privilege of stopping by practice. This was obviously in the off season. Not everyone was there, but what do you think is, or is there something you could point to that may be different in terms of maybe the style of play? Again, Caputo last year was his first year. Now getting more of some guys that he can bring in. Do you think the style of play will be a little bit different this year?
I just think we got a lot more weapons on the floor. We got a lot of talent. We got guys that could do many different things. We got a lot more shooting on the floor than we did last year. So, that allows us to play more in space. Uh, and like I said, with more talent, that means more depth. So we'll be able to play faster and really get up and down more than we did last year because we can keep fresh bodies in the game and different things like that. So I think just from a talent standpoint and just the versatility that we have on the floor was different right now. We got a lot of guys that could do a lot of different things, and it's great for us.
Definitely. And again, I won't go through. I'm not going to go through the list, but I kind of look at GW. You look at this offseason, you have a solid group of freshmen that have come in, and also a solid group of transfers. Just for GW or A10 fans, you look at first with those transfers. You guys brought in some size, versatility. Look at Smith, Buchanan. Obviously, you look at a guy like Benny, who's a top recruit. Was injured, didn't get so much time at Oklahoma because of injuries. What can people expect? A couple of guys that maybe have not surprised you, but you're excited about, kind of playing with this year.
I mean, all those guys that you just named. Benny's really talented. He's a really high-level basketball player. He's able to make decisions, get downhill, play in transition. Like you said, June, we got Stretch up here. Those guys, are able to both guard multiple positions. June is somebody that can, play on the inside, but also make plays on the perimeter. And also Garrett Johnson, he hasn't played in 2 years, but he looks really well. Really can shoot the ball. Athletic, can attack closeouts. And then even our freshmen, like JaCroy, he's somebody that's bringing in a lot of versatility too, being able to guard the ball, make plays, get downhill. So, we got a lot of new guys that's doing a lot of good things for us, and we're all excited. We're excited about all of them right now. They're going to make us a really good team.
Definitely. Well, listen, I don't want to take up too much of your time. I appreciate it. I know we'll probably connect during the season as well, but I know I'm looking
Definitely.
forward to GW A10 fans looking forward to you rolling the ball out there again. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you having me on, man.